Welcome back. This is the second section of reading for the Cold Equations by Tom Godwin, the abridged version. There is a premise video that you got to watch first. Then there's the first section of reading. This will be the second, and then there'll probably be a third section of the reading of the story. So if you haven't watched those other two videos, you need to go see them first. You haven't arrived at the right spot yet. If you have arrived at the right spot, we're going to continue with the reading. And Barton, the EDS pilot, has just discovered a stowaway. It turns out to be a teenage girl. And unfortunately, it seems like they're going to have to kick her off of the spaceship because the spaceship does not have enough fuel in order to get to where it's going, which is to get some medicine to some sick people on the planet Woden. So picking up with there at the top of the page. "You'll never know how sorry I am," Barton said. "It has to be that way, and no human can change it." "EDS," the communicator broke in. "This is ship's records. Give us all information on subject's identification disc." She fumbled with the disc from her necklace. He unfastened it for her. "Here's your data records. Number T8374-Y54. Name, Marilyn Lee Cross. Sex, female. Born July 7th, 2160. She was only 18 years old." He turned once again to the girl. Her childlike voice sounded frightened and bewildered. "Everybody wants me dead, and I didn't do anything. I only wanted to see my brother." "Listen," he said. "Nobody would let it be this way if it was possible to change it." "Then why is it?" she asked. Barton explained his mission. "This ship has barely enough fuel to get to where it's going, and if you stay aboard, your added weight will make it use up all its fuel. It will crash, and you and I will die, and so will the 6 men waiting for the fever serum." "But isn't there any hope at all that someone somewhere could do something to help me?" "No," he answered. "There are no other cruisers within 40 light years." "Barton," Commander Delhart's voice came abruptly from the communicator. "Did you reduce the deceleration to point 10? "Yes," he answered. "I would like to stay at point 10 as long as computers say I can. Will you ask them?" It was against regulations, but the commander said only, "I'll feed the data to the computers." The communicator fell silent, and he and the girl waited in silence. The chronometer read 1810 when the commander spoke again. "You will resume deceleration at 1910. "Is that when I go?" she asked. He nodded. Then he reached out and shut off the communicator. It seemed indecent to let others hear what she might say in her last hour. "I understand now," she said after 10 silent minutes. "I got into something I didn't know anything about, and now I have to pay for it." A physical law had stated, H amount of fuel will not power an EDS with a mass of M plus X safely to its destination. No amount of sympathy for her could alter that law. "But I'm afraid. I'm going to die and nobody cares." "It isn't that no one cares," Barton said. "It's that no one can do anything to help. We're all fighting alien environments out here. There's no margin of safety. Men have to pay the penalty for making mistakes." So he's trying to comfort her as best he can, but it seems like the situation is lost. It seems there's nothing they can do to help Marilyn, just because of the laws of physics and the laws of the environments that they're in. Much like explorers in any situation, whether they explored mountains or Antarctica, there's just very little room for error. And Marilyn obviously did not realize that when she stowed away on the EDS. Those 3 little stars in the middle of the page indicate that there is some sort of setting shift, so a little bit of time has passed. Woden was a sphere swimming in space. Soon it would be night where Group 2 was camped. He estimated how much time remained before the rotation of Woden put Group 2 beyond the reach of radio. 30 minutes, and the chronometer read 1830. 4,000 miles away, the tornado that came from the Woden's western sea had destroyed half of Camp 1's buildings and all their medical supplies, then dissolved into air again. It had been a mindless force, obeying the laws of nature. The men of the frontier understood that natural laws knew neither hatred nor mercy. But how was a girl from Earth to understand? So we'll pause there and pick up the next video at this spot. And, you can see it looks hopeless for Marilyn's situation. And, but Barton has an idea for radio contact to the planet, to Group 2, which is where Marilyn's brother is, Jerry. All right, so move on to the third installment of the reading after this.